Arunachala Shiva, Arunachala Shiva, Arunachala Shiva, Arunachala.
How to tell when if you're established in the self or not, will I still dream at night? Like, will I still be in the dream state at night? Yeah.
Look, if someone is having a question that whether I'm established or not, that means the mind is still having a doubt. Till there are doubts, you are not free. That itself shows that when there is a question, that means you are not free. Because you don't need approval of your mind to say you are free. You don't need approval of your mind. And same with dreams. Dreams and the waking state is part of the mind-body complex only. So dream might still be there, but you are not part of the dream. That you know. So that is more important.
Yep.
Nilakantanji, do you want to say any prayer?
Yep. विवेकवैराग्यचक्षुद्वयेन विचारचारुनिटिलाक्षितेन अहं ममेति विषवैद्यकेन रमणं त्रिपद्मं प्रणौमि नित्यम्. Viveka are the two eyes. Vichara is his third eye. And he is a doctor for aham mameti, I and mine. For that kind of a disease, he is the best doctor. Who is that person? Ramana. To that Ramana's Padapadmam or lotus feet, I bow down always.
May I ask a question?
Yes, Elaine.
It's really not a question, it's more an observation, Sanjay.
Mm-hmm.
In the last week, we've been holding vigil for Tayo's brother, who's been living with brain cancer for the last 16 months, and he died on Monday night. And we held vigil, so family members were with Brother Michael for the last 5 days, from about 7:30 in the morning till about 10:30 at night. Mm-hmm. And there were various family members there. So it's been a very intense week. What I found, I had this insight over the weekend, sort of on the Saturday, Sunday. And what happened was, I'd always felt very strongly, I'd held a very strong concept to be there when somebody died. It was always very important for me. I held that as a concept and something which felt right and something was the right thing to do for me, and perhaps encouraged other people not to avoid the situation, but to attend to the situation at the time. However, I found over the weekend, being in the presence of someone who is passing and being in the presence of the family and watching how everybody responded in their different ways, that it just happened. It just happened. I realized I didn't need, the mind or the ego, didn't need to be there for when Michael died. I could, like, that concept dropped away. I didn't have to be there, like all that doing, we talk about. I didn't need to, I simply didn't, that little I simply didn't need to be. And I could choose, to stay as long as I wanted to, or I could choose to leave. However, whoever was with him when he died, that was grace. If you happened to be there, it was grace. If you weren't, it simply didn't matter. And I've spent, like the last 10 years as a grief counsellor at a hospital in Sydney. And I've worked with death and dying, and I've worked with groups, and I've worked with, I'm talking about that little I in a sense, but always trying to understand and learn from the dying process. And so it was quite a revelation for that just to drop away, to think, well, it simply doesn't matter if I'm there or not. It's being here now in this very moment when I'm with him that counts, just sort of like on an everyday sort of level. So something just peeled away and dropped. And there was no stress. And when the time came, we were at home, we'd left at sort of 8:30 that night, and he died at 11 with his sons and his partner, which was just perfect. So I can't tell you how relaxed I became about the whole process. I didn't have to take on any responsibilities manufactured by my mind and my thinking and my concepts. So it was very an incredible sense of freedom. There was a great sense of freedom for me personally in that process. And
that's very beautiful sharing, Elaine. And what you're saying, the sense of freedom, exactly what you're saying, because a concept in your mind dissolved, which was giving you some tension, and that gave you freedom. Just think, the whole concept of your individuality drops. What a real freedom it is, isn't it? And people talk about surrender. You see in Bhagavan's talk, people used to come, say, I have surrendered, or I have surrendered. But ask these stupid people, who surrenders? Who will say I have surrendered? The person who surrenders cannot even say that he has surrendered. You know why? Because what are you going to surrender? What is your to surrender? It is such a shameful act even to say that I have surrendered. What is yours to surrender to God? That ultimate which gave you this body and mind to interact. And it is not your body mind. It is his body mind. And he has given, he will take away when he wants. It is his. Even each second we are living is his grace. It is on loan. It is not ours. Because what we are using, this gadget, body, mind, is his. He has given it. He gave it at the time of birth. He will take it at the time of death. That birth and death is like loan. You take a book on loan from a library, you have to return it. You take it and you return it. But you, who is you? Now the question comes, okay, the body mind is his. How can you surrender the body mind? It is his only. It's such a shameful act if you take something from me and give it back to me saying that, look, I've given, you have taken from me on loan. How can you say that you have surrendered? What are you surrendering? The body-mind complex is his only. This gadget is given by him only. It is not yours. So what are you surrendering? And then who are you who surrenders? This is a beautiful thing. If you understand this, The ego, you can hold on to the ego exactly when someone says, I am surrendering. Who this I has to go. And who is going to surrender to whom? If even this word is understood, that I am surrendering, it is a shameful act even to say that I have surrendered. There's nothing to surrender, actually. There's nothing there to surrender. And when we talk about, that moving in this world without ego, without anything, the moment you realize that this body-mind complex is on loan, it is not you, that I disappears. That ownership, there is an ownership for this body-mind, isn't it? A lot of people think that the spiritual people or the people who are free from the ego, they don't enjoy life. They are not indulging. They are not entertaining themselves. You know why? It is not that they are some dumb people or they are scared to enjoy. No. They know that there's nothing to enjoy. The enjoyment is that thing when you know that this does not belong to you, you leave the ownership. And as soon as you leave the ownership, this concept that this body mind belongs to me, this realization comes, the bliss dawns on you, because there is only nothing except bliss. Exactly like what you said, that there was a concept in you that you have to be there, and moment the concept dropped, there was some relaxation that everything is okay, whether you are there or not. When the bigger concept that this whole thing, mind, body belongs to me, drops, how much infinite bliss dawns on us. Because then who is running this? Who has brought this into being? And who will run it till the end? Who will take away at the end? Then who is the middleman? No one is the middleman. The middleman is only a concept, only a wrong concept, that this belongs to me. This is the sin. This is the pap. That if I say this body belongs to me or this mind belongs to me, and the moment I become the owner of this body mind, then I want to do things with this body mind. Whether it is good action, whether it's karma, whether doing good to others, whether doing bad to others, whether indulging, whether becoming something like an engineer. I want to become this, I want to do this. This doership comes only when you think you are this body mind, when you own someone else's property. This is not my property. How can I be the owner? If I'm not owner, then doership dissolves with that. Just one simple thing to understand is this body mind is not yours. It does not belong to you. And so if it does not belong to you, you have no control. No control in birth, we all know. And no control in death, we all know. Then how can there be control in between the two ends? Why we are so foolish not to understand this, that this is something on loan, given as a grace, will be taken away when he thinks. Who are us to say that this belongs to me? This is the sin. This is the only sin. The moment you understand and you don't touch the body and mind, not touching doesn't mean like touching here, touching from within. Everything drops immediately. You are free this moment. This question of whether I'm realized, I'm not realized, how would I know? Who talks like this? It's only the mind is talking. The moment you leave ownership of everything, it is only bliss, only peace, only emptiness, spaciousness.
Peace. Yeah, it's peace. Yeah, it's peacefulness.
Yeah, it is peacefulness.
The feeling of peacefulness and feeling of not having to have the responsibility which I imagined I needed to take.
Exactly right. So why we should take responsibility, When we didn't brought this body into the beingness, we have no control when this body will leave. We sleep at night, we don't know we will wake up in morning. So who are we to blame this body or take credit for this body or mind? Whatever it does or doesn't do, just take it, whatever whatever comes or goes, who cares? The one who is created will take care of everything. Bhagavan has given such a beautiful secret to all of us. Some people or all of us, we think that, if we do this, we have to do this. This is my responsibility and I have to do this. He has told us a secret that whatever that ultimate source has given you this body, will also make sure that all what needs to be done through this body will be done. So if he has to take decisions, then who is this middleman who takes decisions and gets worried about everything? To catch a train, to catch a bus, to pass an exam, to do this, to do that, to build the 5th house or 6th house. Who is this? Just sit with this question. Who is this? When this body doesn't belong to me, mind doesn't belong to me, then who is the one who is doing all this? Who is always in a worry? Who has to accomplish something? Who is that? The moment you sincerely sit with this question, the only thing left will be bliss and peace. And you will have a big laughter on your foolishness. That such a simple thing took so many years. It does not need meditation. It does not need any sadhana. Grace is flowing all the time. All the time grace is flowing. We only become a doer, as a controller, as a driver. There is no need. No need. This is the only difference between a jnani and an agyani. The person who knows that he has no control. And the person who is ignorant thinks he is in control. This is the difference. So jnani knows that he has no control and agyani thinks he has control. This is the only difference. I'll tell you, there's no other difference. They will eat same, they will act same, they will do everything. But this is the basic difference. And now I will take you to the indulgence part. All the people around me, they have parties. They think I am stupid, I am not enjoying. Because who is the enjoyer? That ultimate is only the enjoyer. He's enjoying day and night. The party is going on day and night in that bliss. Nobody can join that party. This is the problem. The person who thinks he will enjoy using this body is a sinner. First, because he has the doership. And the second thing, he is doing this shameful act with this body mind. You know why this body mind is given? Just to know the truth who we are. You know what this earth is, what this body is. It is karam bhumi. It is not bhog bhumi. It is not to bhoga. This birth is not for bhoga. It is for yoga. If you want to do bhoga, then go to heaven and hell. This is not for that. This loka is for karma. To know what you are. Don't waste even single second in indulgence. You are wasting your time. This is such a precious time. You have to know yourself and be free. And if you really want to indulge, then do some good actions or bad actions and then go to hell or heaven. This is the karam bhumi. This birth and this body, human birth, is to know yourself. So this is a testing time. This is the examination center. You are sitting in examination center. You are writing your exam and now you are thinking of indulgence here. This is complete wastage of this body-mind complex. You can do anything with this body, but if you are indulging in this body, you are wasting precious time each time. You know what we have limited is only time. Very limited time. We don't know how many seconds left in our life. We are dying each moment. And if we waste this time, such a precious time to know such a profound thing, to be free forever, and using this body mind for a wrong purpose, and that too on loan for someone else, and thinking it's mine and then indulging it. It is like I have gone somewhere and given you keys of my house to take care of it, and when I come you have just ruined the whole house, partying every day and broken things and getting disease inside it, and smelly. I gave you a beautiful house and you ruined it. This is what a sansari does, a worldly person does to the body mind. He ruins it. You see what Kabir says about God gave me this chadariya. He talks it like a sheet. And he says, I gave him as he gave me, I gave him back exactly the way he gave me. Didn't do anything wrong with it, didn't indulge, didn't do. People who talk about doing good acts, I do all the good acts. Good acts, who are you? You should be ashamed. Who are you to do good acts or bad acts? The body is doing, you take claim. I do good acts. I have learned do one good act a day, and my father and my grandfather told, and I do. Every day I do one good act a day. What a shame, isn't it? It's someone else's body. It is already predestined. It is doing good. Let it do good. Who are we as to take credit? If you understand this simple thing, that this body mind doesn't belong to you. Don't leave this ownership of the body mind, and then nothing can go wrong from you. You will never be at any mistake. I can understand that maybe some type of society can put you in jail, but you, the self, knows that you are uninvolved. You, that impersonal presence, knows you are uninvolved. And you're happy with all the consequences this body goes through or doesn't goes through. You have no planning. Only a jnani lives in this moment. A jnani always plans ahead. 6-month plan, 1 year, 3 year, 5 year, 10-year plan. What to plan? Who knows? You plan, he has already planned everything. Watch this suspense movie and just sit and relax. Sit back and relax this suspense movie. How it goes, where it goes. And the moment you understand that you are not the owner, you are always free.
What I'm reminded of when you talk in that way is a sort of natural sense of justice. Like, so hard to put it in words, but it's something which just sort of flashed up then for me. It's like a child who knows it's done wrong and is given some sort of punishment, and the child on a deep level recognises that it needs, to take the consequences of what it may have done. So on a deep sort of like soul level, it seems to me that's what you're describing.
Look, who has done sin? I don't know. If body has done sin, it will go through sin, but we are uninvolved. So there is no one who should even think like, oh, this body is going through suffering because I have done something wrong. What you are exactly saying, a lot of people speak like that. I'll tell you, in India, I have heard a lot of people speak that if someone goes through, let's say, a fracture or a fever or a disease, they say, aapke paap kat rahe hain, which means your sins are getting resolved. Doesn't make it sense. It makes sense only for the ego, not for the free, not for the free, because you are untouched. You have given up because.
Now, what I'm saying is probably something about there's some deep sense. I've certainly felt it when perhaps I've done something in, not right or whatever, that.
But you have not done anything.
I'm always grateful when it's recognised and I can accept I suppose it's something about accepting the suffering. I don't know. I'm getting a bit lost now. Yeah.
This is the thing.
Yeah.
If you take responsibility for the actions as a doer, then this concept comes that if a suffering
Right.
comes, it's coming because I have done this, and we try to relate.
Mm.
Then this is the game from which we have to come out. This
Yeah,
is
okay.
this is a big problem. And look, this problem is more in spirituality than otherwise, because the spiritual people, lot of them talk like this, I've done bad karma, so it's coming to me. I did. I'm suffering.
Mm.
If you want to go, please give away this concept. This body mind belongs to you, which has to go. That is the only understanding you need. And then whatever is happening or not happening doesn't matter, because the thing is that when a good time with the body will come, then you will say, I've done good karma, so good is happening with me will not go. And here the only thing which I am interested is that this I thought has to disappear. And to me, this looks such a profound understanding. If you know that this body mind doesn't belong to you, it is not for you. It is to know that it is not you. That's all. If you know this, because of these wrong concepts, we are tied up with this body mind complex. Hriday Granthi, this knot has to go away. And to go away, you have to have just understanding. This will open so smoothly. And there is no need to surrender, because what you're going to surrender, if you don't have anything, you don't own anything. If you own anything, then you surrender, but there's nothing you own, so nothing to surrender. Just a simple thing to understand is that how can you have control on this body mind when you have no control at the start and the end of this whole cycle of birth and death, isn't it? How can in the middle this stupid fellow comes and he owns and he does doership, and then he goes for fruits of action, and then he does sin, and then he has to repent for those actions? No one. So just move away from this body. Don't touch it from inside. Don't touch this body mind from inside. I don't know how to put it. I'm really short of words, because words cannot explain it, what I'm trying to tell you. Whenever this thing comes, this ahem bhav comes to you, like ownership of the body for anything, even the subtlest of subtle or the biggest thing happening, just observe, because it is already on a track to go through what it has to. We are just a witness. In reality, we all are witness. But in reality, we are all witness. But in reality, 99.99% of people think they are this. And that is the way the sansar, this illusion, is going on. And we all infect each other by this illusion only. Whatever you touch in the outside world, it actually takes you into the ego mode only. That is maya, that is illusion, that is ignorance. You read anything, you watch anything, you interact with people, they all behave as body-mind complex, as persons. And so there is always conflict of these egos going on. Nobody feels that all-pervading awareness, images floating in it. Unity. We talk about unity from ego, which is useless. So leave away whatever the body is doing or not doing, or going through or not going through. We don't own this body. The one who owns, he is doing it. Let's say if you're living in my house and I am constructing house or destructing house, whatever, it's none of your business. You just stay. You can't complain because you don't own. You're not paying rent. You are just there as a guest for a short duration. One day I decide to demolish the house and you have to leave. You can't claim that now, no, I wanted to live 100 years. It is only 70 years. You cannot claim. You have to leave. But the beautiful thing is, if you understand this, then you are not going anywhere. This is also the beauty of this pure understanding, that you are completely uninvolved. So even when there's destruction of the house, you stay there. You don't go in any form, because you have given up all the forms to the owner, the real owner. And that is the thing, that whatever the body has come into being, let's just, with folded hands, let's not do anything. Let what the body does, we are just with that flow. No resistance, no my concepts, no mind.
That's the real asanga, unattached attitude for everything, from A to Z. There's no question of, oh, for this I'm attached, for this not. For nothing it is attachment. It is just the light, like the light which shines in this room, and it enlivens whether somebody is being killed or somebody is being married, getting married. It doesn't bother about, the light doesn't bother about, like that I'm the light in which everything shines and I'm not attached. That has to be drilled into us again and again.
Just like sunshine, sun shines on everything. Awareness is exactly, we all are that. Don't mix up your mind and concepts and thoughts and ego and feelings and emotions and the bodily pain and suffering to it. None of that. What your mind knows is you. You are that which mind cannot reach.
Simple concept is, as Sanjay was saying, the sunlight is shining on the holy river Ganges as well as gutter. Sunlight doesn't make any difference. The same concept, if you put, I am the sinner, I am now the holy man. No difference, because it's the same light which is shining. Both when I am the sinner as well as I am the holy man. It doesn't matter. So I am now attaching with the sinner or the holy man. No, you are attached with the light or the sun. So completely you are detached from this level and going to the higher level. It's just an imagination, but that's what happens.
So Ilan, if you're watching yourself, not even watching, but here everything drops the moment you know that the body mind doesn't belong to you. Then how are you involved in anything? All the connections of this world are through this body mind, isn't it? Relations, friends, job, whatever, other human beings. So you just become fluid, whatever is happening, whatever is. So then you don't criticize anyone, because you can't. You don't have likes or dislikes. Everything, what you can't judge. It's just how the light can judge or criticize. It is. When you are what it is, that isness is what we are, which has no attributes. The biggest problem comes when we think that the Bhagwan or your God is also has attributes, a form. Then you also think your body is a form. It's all that pure awareness. Nothing of this world can you imagine yourself. And the best way is to see as a pure seer, seeing, not judging, just seeing things as they are. Just vacant look.
Thank you.
And you sit in your own seeing, and rest of thing just happens. That peace dawns on you, and then this bliss sometimes can have spurts, like waves of bliss can come to you, because it is just you have opened up for that. For that, what it is, because and the simplest thing, and you are not doing anything different than what the reality is. You are just matching yourself to the reality by giving up or not owning what you don't own.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean that you will be a dead person, that you will be a more live person. A person who doesn't own the body is more lively. He has given up the filter of ownership. He has taken away the name tag from the house. So the house is welcoming to every being.
It's beautiful. It's beautiful. I can get a sense of that, yeah, of what you're saying. And the sense of being on loan as well. And we're all one.
Yes.
And just bits and pieces are on loan. Yeah. I feel that. Yeah. I feel it. Thank you. Thank you. Oh, I think I need a little rest. It's been a lot to take in, you know. It's been a big sharing. Thank you. Thank you all very much for listening. Thank you. I'll sit quietly now.
Another thing which I would like to say is about your own seeing. You don't have to copy anything from any book, any concepts. You know, we love Bhagwan, we keep reading what he has said because sometimes we want to copycat. But I'll tell you a very important thing. The moment you touch your own self, it reveals you all the knowledge in the best possible way in this body-mind complex. And in a way, it wants to deliver it through your body-mind complex in a way which you can convince or try to explain to the people around you, or even to make them understand the concept. Somehow it happens. Nobody can make you understand why it happens, how it happens. And that opening, that self which you touch is though the same self in everyone, but it comes through you in your own unique way. And so externally the talk or even the appearances look different in different jnanis, but it is the same truth which can come in so many ways. And that's why there are so many sects and religions and teachings and ways. And this is to satisfy different mindsets also. So people can have more choices. And this is also to do with different times on this planet Earth, because mind has evolved in a different way. So maybe the same techniques which were used 2000 years might need to be improved in a way, because this consciousness is different. Different yoga, different mindset, different, so but there are innumerable number of techniques to reach the same source. Maybe right now, with all the sadhanas, practices people have done for so many years, so many births, maybe just listening to these pointings and discussing in a group like this is enough. Because the yoga is changing, the things are working very fast nowadays. It's a very fast life, isn't it? So maybe the way the jnana has to come is also acting very fast. Look, this is all God's grace that there are online platforms and sitting in so many different countries. No one has to travel, and it's just happening like this. Previously, people used to think that going by train or by plane, you reach a destination which is quicker, and then you can see and you can discuss, you can have satsang. Now you can sit in your home and you can have instantaneous satsang. This is all His grace. Wireless, yeah. So beautiful, isn't it? We can use all this for reaching higher consciousness. All these techniques, technology can be used in such a beautiful way, which we cannot understand. Sitting in our home, and we can all be in touch, and deeply in touch, not just in touch, deeply in touch, because it's the same awareness pervading throughout the infinite universe at the same time. There is no time and no place. Bhagavan always used to put this so nicely, that what is time and what is space? Everything is happening exactly at the same time, everywhere. You are everywhere. And he used to give an example of a radio station. He used to say, we are sitting in Tiruvannamalai, Arunachala, and there's from Hyderabad, there is a radio channel. We can listen here exactly at the same time while the person in Hyderabad is listening to. Exactly at the same time. It is happening exactly at the same time. The concept of place and concept of time is just a concept. That's all.
And a beautiful example about somebody asked him a question about time and space. Oh, somebody is now died, and will he be reborn after 2 years? And he will just be a baby and then grow. Said maybe now he'll be 70 years old, and he'll. So this man could not understand why is he saying we think time is linear. So that concept was broken by simple example saying that he could be at the same time 70 years old. So it is not, so forget about the time and space in this linear way. So if you are exposed to a little bit of quantum physics, you will understand. But here itself, you can understand a little bit by thinking that its time is not there, and how we are able to connect, even though you are 4.5 hours ahead, and maybe Vidya is say like behind us by another 12 hours or something. So it's the time also shrinking, completely it has shrunk. So can you imagine anybody, if somebody is possibly in Mars is listening to this, what will be his time? So if you think that way, immediately what Bhagavan has told you immediately clicks. So modern science also helps in understanding. Simple example, what Sanjay was saying about different persons sharing this knowledge is like when different flowers flower at different times. What happens? Different honeybees come and sit there without being asked, without being advertised. Like that, when a person is he himself is sitting on his own happiness, what happens is bees come automatically. So that concept also, if you think about, if I am that quietly sitting down, things will automatically happen without our knowing. Because that's what he's running the show. Why am I poking my nose? That will again come to our mind. Again and again think in that fashion, not from the passion of mind and body is mind. Again and again go back to that concept and re-establish yourself in your original beauty.
What Nilakantanji just said, it is like when you are uninvolved, you touch your own silence. And the silence is you, not the thought, not the speech, not the body. Because silence is the source. So from silence comes out this I thought, which owns the body mind. The moment you gave up this I thought, that the body mind doesn't belong to you, immediately you touch your own silence. And the silence dawns on the body forever, eternally, whether you speak or not, whether you act or not. When I say you means your body and mind. Whether there is some movement in it or not doesn't matter. When you understand this, that the body mind doesn't belong to you, the thing which comes from this source silence and I thought, which give rise to the ego, dissolves. So the speech which conveys through the I thought now conveys from the source. So the speech becomes purer, the body becomes purer, everything is blessed by the jewel in your heart. The moment this middleman goes away, and this middleman is just a fake concept. And then give up all the concepts which you have learned about this middleman, that the law of karma and good deeds and bad deeds and this loka and that loka and all, because all of those are attached to the ego only, nothing else. When this I thought goes, everything drops. All your account balance goes away. All your list of karmas goes away, because when there is no doer, then who will punish you? Who will be punished? When a person dies, can you punish him? Whatever sinner a person is, and they decide to put all the cases and the news comes he's dead, then you will punish the dead body? Who will punish whom? What punishment? What suffering? It is such a beautiful freedom. Freedom not for 1 second or 2 seconds or 1 day or 10 days, forever, not even in this life, forever. And who will have doubt? That the one who is having doubts and ambitions and was trying to, he is already gone. It was just a concept. We are all living in wrong concept from as conditioning of this whole world. The moment that wrong concept goes, there is nothing left. Nothing to seek, nothing to do, nothing to accomplish. You are like ready to leave this home the moment there is a call, because there is nothing else, no purpose. Or you can say the only purpose is to know who you are. The moment you know, you are free. And once you are free, there is no other purpose left in the body. All this time is left in the body is to just keep enjoying your own bliss within the body, and then when the body leaves, without the body. Maybe the body still has some requirements. This is the beauty of this pure awareness, what we all are. None of us are different. Externally, this costume looks different, but it doesn't matter. It is the same pure Brahman, all-pervading awareness, as if there are two eyes, as if it is a camera just watching the show. But when it is watching without mind, without ego, without any baggage, there is perfume in it, there is fragrance in it, there is beauty in it, lightness in it, humbleness, innocence. Because all what we have learned in this world is corruption of the mind. All that which we think we are smart is stupidness, nothing else. This awareness is the pure blessing. It is the purest of pure. It is the diamond. When you give up all what you think you can become, or you have been, or you are becoming, when you know this all is just a wrong concept, then the reality dawns on you. It dawns on you, you know that immediately, and it never goes away. But then another thing happens, that reality keep giving new changes to the body. New unfoldings are happening. It's a new fragrance. It's so lively. And how it will manifest, how it will unfold, body doesn't know. Mind doesn't know. Nobody knows. But it does its things in its own way, the way it has to do. Whether after that, whatever happens to the body, you can call it prarabdha, or whether things changes, who knows. But as Bhagavan says, the moment you know yourself, everything drops. All your karmas, sanchita karma, agami karmas, prarabdha also. When you don't have any ownership, whatever happens to the body, then who is the owner of those karmas also? Nobody. Everything drops immediately. Nothing left. Just simple knowing that this body mind is not me and not for me. I don't own it. Nobody owns it. There is no ownership of it. That takes away all the baggage from your mind. And this baggage, this heaviness of the body is only because of such a wrong concept, I concept. I concept is like a heavy weight on the whole thing. Everyone who has experienced nobody can describe this self, because it is not a newly found thing. It is always there, but it has no baggage. You minus baggage of ego is self, which is lightness, spaciousness, emptiness, aliveness, more alive, more clarity. After which nothing attracts. Nothing is unfulfilled. Maybe the body mind might still be doing what it has to do, but nothing unfulfilled, contented, blissful. Not looking for happiness. Happiness is you. And then what happens is you realize you love all religions, all prophets, all saints, and you understand their language immediately, because that language is spoken to different people in different times. So it is different, but it means the same. Like the same Jnani might say different things to different people, but it means the same. Core teaching is the same, to know yourself. Remember all the teaching, all the preaching, all the jnana, all the practice, all sadhanas, and then ultimate reality. This all talk, what we see, is for us only, to know ourselves. It is not that this is for me and that is for my Muslim brother or this is for Christian brother. It's not like that. This all teaching is for me only. If you can incorporate that teaching is for me only, not for anyone else. Because who is else? All else what we see is our own projection of the mind. As in dream we see the whole world, and in morning when you wake up you realize that it was my dream, no one else's dream. Same is right now. Whoever is listening to it, whoever is having an open heart to imbibe the teaching and to be free, it is for that person only, not for anyone else. It is for you only. And it does its own thing. You don't even have to think about it. If you have openness, the grace flows on you when you have openness, open heart to listen to it. It does not need your mind. It does not need your intellect. Actually, more intellectual a person is, more difficult for him to understand. Intellect is not at all needed. Just simple, basic understanding. People sometimes talk of untimely death, a young death. There is no untimely. That body mind is being given for that duration only. Everyone has been given for certain time and is being taken away. So it goes away where it belongs to. Let's sit in our own silence. Let all the teaching goes deep in our heart to realize the truth, pure self. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti.